because everything is always.
Welcome to LOA Today. Walt Thiessen and Patty Framo here on this Monday, November the 5th, 2018. It is 4 p.m. New York time. That's 1 p.m. Los Angeles time and 9 p.m. London time, so wherever you are in the world. Thank you for joining us on this beautiful Monday. We are experiencing interesting stuff going on today. Linda and our guests were hypothesizing maybe it's about retrogrades. I don't know what it is. But whatever it was, our electronics decided they just weren't going to work, and then they decided they were going to work. We're glad they decided to work. That's the good news, and we're just going to go with that, and we're going to assume it's going to go that way for the rest of the podcast. So that's the way it is. How you doing, Patty? I haven't talked to you in a week. How's it going?
Great. I know, it's doing great. Of course, the train horn decides to show up just as we start, but that's okay.
Of course, yes.
Can you hear it?
A little bit in the background. It's not like it's going.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like going right by your door, like coming through your backyard, and it's not quite that this time.
I know.
It's
I can see the people's faces from here, so it's pretty good. That's okay.
So just hold up a sign. Tune into loatoday.net. That way we'll get more listeners.
I should. That's actually not a bad idea. Maybe I should next time.
Yeah, give it a shot.
I like that idea.
If nothing else, it'll give them a talking point on the way to the office or wherever they're going. You know?
Exactly.
So
I'm excited that we have Cynthia who called in today.
Yeah, we have, and Cynthia is a member of your group. Is that right? Cynthia, are you a member of Patty's group? Is that the idea? The meetup group?
Yes.
You are? Oh, okay. So that's a cool thing. Yeah, and it's a pretty good sized group. I gather you guys are pretty active. So congratulations on having something that's law of attraction related that has such a vibrant community to it. That's great.
Yeah, it's really fun. I mean, there's about, over 750 members, but, of course with Meetup, that means people are members and they're not always active.
Oh,
in the
right,
group.
sure. Yeah.
Once a month, I'm just holding these, and we have probably average of about 20 people who show up each month, which is really a lot of fun. And I kind of opened this idea up to them at the last meetup, so I've had a few people that said they would be interested in calling in and doing this. And Cynthia was one of my first ones.
Well, Cynthia, thank you so much for being a volunteer. That's fabulous. I mean, we're really glad that you were willing to bare your soul to the world while you're getting a little help from Patty, so thank you.
I definitely had to seize the opportunity.
Oh, there you go. Carpe diem.
Yeah. So Cynthia, you were telling me just a little bit in that email or chatting before about wanting to manifest a job. Can you or was that your main thing, or what did you want to talk about?
You know what? I was thinking more about it, and I think as a focal point, the larger issue is the financial situation in my life, because the job, would support that, obviously. So I think that would be a good starting point. So the other the other intention that I had sent you about manifesting like nonlinear sources of income in my life, or passive sources of income. I don't know if that's specific enough, or.
Well, tell me what your challenge has been.
Okay.
And where you've been emotionally with this. Okay.
So financially, I have always kind of gone kind of hand to mouth for a long time, just because of my choice in jobs, and then I was in grad school and I'm recently licensed, which was, fine for my lifestyle. I've kind of been bohemian, but I feel like now I'm ready to just receive more abundance in my life, and I would like to get to a point where, I could own my own home and just feel a little bit more grounded in my kind of living environment, new to San Diego. So that's kind of how things have been. And
where are you? Yeah, I was just going to say, how do you feel? Where are you on the emotional scale regarding all of that?
Okay. So, how do I feel emotionally about how it's been in the past, or where I want to be?
How do you feel right now emotionally?
Okay. Well, I think just talking about my past patterns, I noticed like tightness in my solar plexus. Like tightness in my belly, tightness in my shoulders. So it feels like contracted.
So what emotion would you give to that?
Well, it feels like, I mean, could I say lack? Or feels like a little bit, not a lot, but it feels like a little bit of like anxiety.
So fear or anxiety. Kind of
Related
worried.
Worry. Yeah, that's a good one.
And has this been sort of like a long term type of feeling that you've had about this? Is this like, or is this kind of a new, like, does it have a whole bunch of momentum from your past all wrapped up into this, or is it more of a new thing?
It kind of does, because I think growing up there was lack mentality with my parents, so they were always worried about money, and that's the message that I heard. So it wasn't until, I don't know, like 10, 15 years ago when I heard about, law of attraction and intentions and manifestations that I, started to shift my own attitude and mentality towards that, but it's definitely a work in progress.
So what has been most helpful to you so far?
What has been most helpful for me, like specifically around money?
Yeah, or even just around shifting your energy. What generally helps you to do that, to shift your vibration and make it more positive?
I think that Abraham, idea of just getting into the vortex. So when sometimes for me, because money, there's like resistance around it. So I have to just completely distract myself from that topic and, just think about something else or talk about something else or just do something that makes me feel joyful and in flow. Like those are things that have helped.
To kind of just get off the topic, because being on that topic, it sounds like just sends you down the rabbit hole.
It can.
So what do you kind of envision for yourself in terms of how you want to feel about this whole topic of finances?
Okay, how do I envision how I would feel? I want to feel the opposite of, what I felt when I was describing it to you. I want to feel relaxed, at ease. I want to feel trust that, there's I'm receiving abundance, continuous streams of abundance. I want to feel joyful about it. I think those are the biggies.
And what do you want to feel as far as your work goes, or work/play? That's going to help you to, like, what feelings do you have around that whole piece of it, or want to have?
A bit about play, especially since I've moved to San Diego. I've been playing a lot, which is good. The work piece, there's been some, I don't know if, there's some energy blockages or something, but that part has been slow for me, though, because I've been in San Diego about 6 months. So, I've been trying to build a private practice, and now I'm trying to look for another part-time job, for extra income. So
you were telling me earlier a little bit about some of the things you were doing up in the Bay Area for your work and how much you were liking some of those things. And I'm wondering if you could talk about some of the feelings you were having there, what you really enjoyed and what that brought to you emotionally.
I did bereavement counseling at a hospice, which I just loved. To me, it was just really rich, meaningful, satisfying work. So that even when I talk about it, I feel, my heart's really open around that. I really enjoy that work.
And what feelings did that bring for you?
Just contentment, satisfaction, and my heart feels really open around it. Love.
So,
love.
Was it feeling rewarding for you?
Very.
Were you feeling like you were helping people and that part felt good too?
Yeah, definitely. So it felt nourishing for both parties. I feel like I was of service to another person, but I felt like, I was also learning and healing and growing in the process.
So of those feelings, what of those feelings would you want to bring into your present and future now?
All of those. I'd like to feel, that my work is nourishing both myself and to others. That it's meaningful, it's gratifying, that's what I love about therapy is to me, it feels like loving work. So that's important to me. So all of those things we talked about.
And do you have, is there anything in your life right now, today or currently, that brings up those feelings for you? Even if it's not the same thing, the same action, or, you know what I mean?
I don't know if this, is, for some reason, the first thing that came to me was, so right now I'm, dating and, cause I've held the intention of wanting to attract my beloved, my life partner for some time. So I've been dating and, at least in this department, I think the universe is sending me abundance. So I've been attracted, men that are just very loving, supportive, and really kind of honor that divine feminine energy, which I love. So I think when the past month and a half that I've been dating, I think that is when I'm feeling kind of in abundance and in that kind of loving, heart open space. That's the first thing that comes to mind.
And when maybe you're providing nourishment or nurturing and also receiving that as well.
Exactly.
So, I'm just wondering if there's any practices that you've been doing that are helping you to sort of put yourself into that frame of mind. What are the things that help you to get into that higher vibration other than the dating? Are there additional things that you like to do that bring your vibration up?
I have daily breath work and meditation practice. Those help tremendously to uplift my vibration. I notice a big difference when I do it and if I don't. So that's really important for me. And then what else? I think just doing things that are playful, that help me to connect with my inner child, that help me to connect with my creativity, like, something art-based or music, dance. I'm very passionate about singing, dancing, so anything like that. Being in nature.
So have you been pretty much practicing a lot of those things and bringing them in? Or are you focusing more on the job hunt, or where are you at with all that?
I feel like I've been actually putting a lot of energy into just being more playful, being creative. So I would say on a weekly basis, I'm probably, walking in nature, hiking or something a couple times. I do yoga a couple times a week. Singing and dancing like once or twice a week.
Well, that's cool. It sounds like you've been doing a lot of good stuff.
Definitely.
And I'm wondering, you had said something earlier about maybe you need to clear something out. What were you referring to, like in your past?
Yeah, so sometimes I wonder, I feel like I have cleared some, like maybe old life-limiting beliefs or patterns around what I deserve. But I'm wondering if there's any residual, I might be holding on to some of that, and maybe that's getting in the way of my receiving abundant, work or, abundance financially. I'm not sure.
Walt, do you have any thoughts about this?
Actually, I have a couple
personal
questions.
Experience?
Yeah, well, plenty of personal experience. In fact, I wanted to share with you that I did a survey, sort of informally in the group where we're live streaming to the Law of Attraction Changed My Life group over the weekend to ask people what their number one or number two or number three things that they're trying to attract were, and wealth and money were right at the top of the list. So, Cynthia, you're in great company. This is not an unusual thing at all. You are at the top of the list with everybody else because that's what they all want to ask for. And it's something I've been dealing with, too, myself. I have actually a two-part question for you. The first part is, to a certain extent, you kind of slightly described what it is that you're aiming for, although the way you and Patty went after what you were feeling, and we kind of got away from that a little bit. So if you can kind of get more to what it was that you're aiming for, and once you're there, this is where the two parts come in. First, what's the first feeling that you experience when you get there? And second of all, what does it feel like after you've been there for a while?
So your first question is, what is it I'm aiming for? And then how do I feel when I'm talking about it?
Well, no, when you get there. I mean, if you're imagining this in your mind, Neville Goddard likes to say you want to imagine yourself feeling the wish fulfilled, right? You want to feel as if you've already achieved it. So if you're imagining how you've already achieved it, what does that feel like? And then after you've achieved it, what does that feel like?
Okay, that's a good question. So what I'm aiming for is, and is it the more specific, the better?
It's what works for you in terms of what you feel.
Okay. So what I'm aiming for, I mean, obviously I want to increase my current financial situation, improve it. So is it helpful if I give more specifics around, I don't know, like how much money I would like to earn every year or that I would like to be receiving? Or is that not important?
I like the way Neville Goddard describes this. He says what you want to do is you want to put yourself in the place of where you're at when the thing you're asking for shows up. So it just showed up.
It's already happened.
It just happened. You've just experienced it.
Okay.
You said, oh, wow, it just happened. What are you feeling?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Make a little vignette of that scene. What's happening in that scene?
The feeling, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I guess if I've received what I'm aiming for, what I'm hoping for, that would look like, so I'm receiving, continuously receiving passive sources of income, nonlinear sources of income. Maybe that's in the form of, like rental properties or, I don't know, like maybe I have something like an Airbnb where I'm able to, I have a property and I can rent out rooms so that I have that passive source of income. And that way my work is just something joyful for me and I have more choices around how much I want to work, how little I want to work, and there isn't that financial stress that's connected to work. And that feels really important.
So let's say you literally just got the job.
Okay.
And you just got everything all lined up and things are like going amazingly. And you're so excited because you're there. So can you speak in present tense like you're already there? Like I'm so excited now that, and then say it like it's happening right now. It's already happening. You're there.
Pretend like it's a TV scene. You're watching the scene on TV. How does the scene go?
So, yeah, I'm so excited that I'm there. I see myself. I'm in this beautiful therapy space and, I'm working with a client and I feel just complete freedom to work and support the client in, whatever way he or she and I, feel would best support their journey. And I feel just complete ease and abundance and freedom around it because there isn't any, financial thing connected to that. And, so there's that piece and I noticed when I said that it kind of brought me down.
So what that means is you hit a wobble. So you weren't really believing that.
Yeah, I think when I said that.
There's a part of you that's like, oh, I don't think I really believe that.
Let me check with myself and see, do I believe I could really be there?
Well, you were focusing on the lack end of the stick.
That gave you the wobble?
That's the Abraham phrase, right? You're focusing on the lack end of the stick instead of the thing end.
Yeah. So when I said, I feel free and abundance and, I feel, just the freedom and abundance to, support my client in the way they want to because it's not connected to any financial stress. That's what gave me the wobble.
Yeah, that gave you a wobble. So maybe this is too big of a leap in a way to really get to that place right now. So is there a baby step that you can take from the feeling you're having now about this that will just be one little step up the emotional scale? Because you started out saying you're feeling kind of a little fearful, a little anxious, and a little worried about this whole area. Is that correct? So what could be a tiny, believable step that you could take from here that would feel true to you, that would not cause a wobble?
I feel hopeful. I feel hopeful that, you know, I'm well qualified for my work, and I'm, you know, good. I feel like I'm good at what I do. I have a lot to offer, so I feel hopeful.
So are those all very true statements for you?
Yes. Okay.
Can you talk a little bit more about that? The detail of those, since those are true and hopeful?
Yeah. So I feel like, gosh, what else can I say about that?
You have a lot to offer.
Yes. I have a lot to offer. I feel like I have something different to offer than from other therapists.
How are you different?
You know, holistically trained. I work holistically with clients and somatically. So I was trained to work with a mind-body connection. And so the work that I do with clients looks very different. It's not just talk therapy, which I love. Like, that really excites me. So I love working with clients in that way. And I've really seen them take off and transform and blossom. So that's always really exciting for me.
So those are all really good skills. I'm wondering what it is about you and your uniqueness that you're bringing. Because I'm sure you have a lot of just innate and learned skills and just who you are that's really helpful to people.
Yeah. So what's innate to me? I feel like, I mean, I'm a very loving person, and I want to contribute in some way. I want to help, to help people along their healing journey. I feel like that's kind of my calling, why I'm here. Yeah, so even as I talk about that, I like feel a little bit teary.
Oh, why? What does that bring up for you?
I feel like that's the work that really touches my heart, is the therapy I do with clients, the healing work.
Yeah. So it's sort of getting to the core of you, of who you are.
Yes. So if somebody asks me, like, what work would you do if you didn't have to worry about money at all? That this is the work, the therapy, the healing work with clients.
I think the more you can focus on that and those feelings and bringing them up to your present in whatever way you need to or whatever way works is going to be a lot more effective for you than even worrying about the money piece.
Okay.
Because the money piece will follow. The money piece will just follow. I mean, you've already put it out in your vortex. I know it's there. There's all this money just waiting there to come in. So you just need to be lined up with it. But to leap to that, to being lined up with it is too big of a leap to be lined up with the money piece right now. But the piece that's resonating that's resonating with me from you as you talk about this, and how touching it is to you and how much it really relates to the core of who you are and your strengths and gifts is the work.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
And that's the thing that seems very true and real to you without any wobble whatsoever.
No doubt.
And it also, you know, I believe it seems like it really kind of validates who you are and makes you feel good about yourself just by bringing those thoughts up.
That's true. I feel like it's like an integral part of just who I am and why I'm here. So do you or have any suggestions about how to focus around that?
You're
doing it right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was great, Walt. That was perfect. Jinx.
Yeah, right.
Said the exact same thing at the same time. You're doing it right now. So, I mean, you just did such a good job, Cynthia, of just doing exactly that right now. You just did that. And look, did you feel a shift in your energy? I mean, even as you talked about that?
I did. Right now I feel, pretty relaxed. I feel very centered in my heart and just ease.
This is the feeling of the wish fulfilled right here. That's the feeling. And what I would recommend is take it one step further. We were talking earlier about what it feels like when it finally happens. Create a little scene. I mean, you have to kind of decide where you know for sure that you've made it, that the abundance has shown up. And what you described it sounds more like a process. So you're going to have to pick in there where in the process you've decided that, yes, now I know I've made it. Now I know I've reached abundance. And then you have to put yourself into this feeling place that you're in right now in a scene at that moment in time and make yourself actually playing out a part where you're experiencing this in your mind, in your experience. That's what you're going for. That's assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled.
Could it be a collage of scenes?
It's better to be one scene. You can do anything you want, but Neville's very specific about this. He says you want to make it as simple and as small a vignette as you can because it's easier to focus on and stay there. If you start creating a collage, you can get down the rabbit holes really easily. But if you stay on a really simple thing like this, then you end up focusing longer. And we know Abraham tells us, the longer you stay with it, the more you make it real, right? And Neville describes the same thing. He calls it the hardening of the idea. It's the same basic idea.
Okay. Because when you invited me to create the scene and visualize the scene, it's a scene of what I imagine in my, 5-year, when people talk about what's your 5-year vision for your life or something. So the scene that comes to mind though, it's not necessarily specifically related to, money and my job. Well, maybe it is.
I don't think that the money piece needs to be part of it.
Okay.
Because the money piece is already in your vortex. It brings you down. It makes you doubtful. It brings the wobble. I'd let the money piece go completely.
So whatever just comes. Okay.
And the thing that's going to lead you to that money is feeling good. And what's going to lead you to feeling good is pulling up the things that make you happy. And even just talking about this totally shifted things for you. And, I agree, Walt. Initially I was thinking, just bring in the collage, bring it all in. But you're right. It's real easy to once you get too much off track, you're like, there's a wobble that's going to send me down the rabbit hole.
Exactly.
So I think, but the caveat I would make to this is that doing this and thinking those specific thoughts only when they're feeling good.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
So if you're feeling a wobble, you just back up. That's not the right way. I'm backing up from that wobble. And I think, you're really good at checking in with yourself on what does this feel like. You're really attuned to your feelings and your gut. I know all of us tend to get in our heads from time to time, but I really feel like, in order to bring this higher vibration into your life, it's going to be doing this when it feels good and doing only the parts that feel good.
Okay.
And let that be, it's like your emotional guidance system. I would let that be your guide. Who was it? Who was the guy on Pinocchio? Geppetto.
Yeah.
He would say, let your conscience be your guide.
Right.
Well, I would say, let your emotions be your guide, right? Yeah. That's the Abraham method of that. Do you remember that? Do you know about that, Cynthia? That, what is it? It's not a nursery rhyme. It's a
cartoon. It's
fairy tale.
Fairy tale, yeah.
I definitely remember that from childhood. I don't remember Geppetto specifically saying that, but I can appreciate how it connects.
Geppetto was guiding Pinocchio, who was having problems with lying. He would lie and his nose would get longer, remember? And so when Geppetto kept saying, let your conscience be your guide. There's a whole little I can picture him.
Oh, yeah.
He was a cricket, I think, right? Mm-hmm. Wasn't he a cricket?
Well, Jiminy Cricket was in there. Geppetto was actually an older man, but yes.
Geppetto was the dad.
Who was the one that said that? Let your conscience be your God. Was it the cricket?
Who did say that?
It's probably Jiminy.
Jiminy Cricket.
Oh, Jiminy, like the conscience.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. So let's say we have little Abraham Cricket who's saying, let your emotions.
I like that.
Little Abraham Cricket on your shoulder saying, let your emotions be your God. Yeah. Because I think, the more that we can get into the good emotions, everything just comes in. You know, I think that you can, if something keeps coming up repeatedly, like you had mentioned having maybe a block around that or some fear around it, but it sounds like you've already done some work in that area. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay, so,
yeah, sorry, I was just going to say, like therapy, different classes and workshops. So I feel like I have cleared some of the blockages, but not sure if there's any residual.
And I wouldn't even worry about it. I mean, unless it keeps coming up again and again where it's hindering your ability to think positively and have a high vibration. Since it's something that does have such a wobble in it, I would just kind of pivot away from that money piece onto because the work piece you don't have any wobble about. It doesn't sound like, do you?
Well, when I think about therapy, just for the sake of therapy, I do it because I love it. There's no wobble. When there's any connection to, oh, I need work to support me financially, then it gets wobbly.
Yep. I would just stay off that as much as you can.
That's where the vignette comes in. When you have that vignette, it's a very simple scene that you can reproduce over and over again. So you use the Abraham principle. You just milk it. You milk it by just playing it over and over and over and over again, and just suck the life out of it.
Okay. I feel like I have a scene. It's just something kind of different. I feel like my scene, whenever I think about like me and just being really happy and joyful and at ease, like I see myself walking on the beach, like hand in hand with my beloved, my life partner. And we're just, walking down the beach with our dog, and I just feel completely like peaceful and like, like this is it. Like this is where I want to be.
Good. Yeah. That's another form of assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. I mean, you can use any vignette that is meaningful to you regarding what it is that you're trying to attract. The main thing is pick the vignette and just go with it and just keep playing it and keep, I mean, Neville actually recommends doing it as you go to sleep every night. As you go to sleep, before you go to sleep, play it through in your mind. Just keep playing it a few times and until it puts you to sleep, or until you've done it a few times and you're ready to go to sleep, one or the other, because that's when you're going to be in your most suggestible state, so to speak, right? So that's your best time to play your ideal scene to yourself. Okay.
Got it.
We're not hearing you, Patty. Something's wrong. Not sure what. You're not muted on the screen. Nothing yet. Oh, there's something.
Oh.
Try again. You just froze up. Technology is a lot of fun.
How about now? Can you hear me now?
We got you now.
Yay! There you are. Okay, I won't touch anything. I'm like, going to sit really still. I had to go plug in my computer because I was watching it go down to like 5%. I was like, so I had to go plug.
Good timing.
And then all of a sudden things did work. So good. I'm glad I'm back with you. I believe so you were just talking about, doing the thing before you go to bed. And what I was thinking too is that some people have, audio that works for them, or talking, or writing, or pictures, or doing it while, I know, Walt, you do your walking meditation, and that really works for you. But I think when you're going to get into that place of envisioning and really soaking into that feeling place of where you want to be, as if it's already present. When I used to run my coaching groups, what I would do was actually do an exercise where I'd have people write out, I'm so excited now that, and then describe in all the feeling terms in present tense, and describing it to me, saying, gosh, I just love these clients that I have right now. They're so motivated. It's just so rewarding as I watch them go through these changes. And I really feel like I'm giving so much to them, but I'm also learning so much myself. And it's amazing the feelings that it brings to me. And and then I would ask them to do the trickle down effect. So what does that trickle onto in other areas of your life? So, I love doing this, and it fills me up emotionally. And I find that when I get filled emotionally and I bring these feelings into my life, what it also does is it starts making my relationships better in my personal life. And I find that it makes me happier with my whole approach to my day when I wake up in the morning. And I find that it trickles into me being nicer to my kids. And, it's just like where you kind of take that vision and those feelings in present tense, soak into them when they feel good. Only do the ones that feel good. If you're feeling the wobble, back off from that one and go in another direction that feels better. And then as you're bringing those in, you can add as a second part. And I don't know if you want to do it in writing or speaking, even into, your phone or whatever, because then you could listen back while you're driving. I mean, or while you're going to sleep. I mean, that's even another thought.
Oh, that's a good.
Is saying it aloud and then reading.
I in my practice, I do a lot of writing of intentions, but I like your suggestion of maybe speaking, like recording it on my phone or something, and then I can play it back to myself when I'm driving. I like that idea.
And really going.
Oops, we got to freeze up again.
Yeah.
We'll be back. Oh, here she is. She's
back.
Got
me now?
Yep, we got you now.
You're back.
Sorry, I don't know what it is. Something's being weird today. It must be Mercury in retrograde. That's the only thing I can think of.
Something's in retrograde.
Yeah, something is. So really going into those trickle down pieces as the next step. What are all the other secondary gains you're getting from getting into that positive place? And soaking, really soaking it in. What she calls milking it, what Abraham calls milking it. Yeah. So where you're milking it and then extrapolating out into all the other ways that it's affecting you positively in your life. And it doesn't have to be something that is actually happening right now. You're going into fantasy land, Yep. So you really can take this whole fantasy and get into the feeling of it like you're there because, Abraham talks about how the universe doesn't recognize when something's in the past or the future or the present. If you're feeling it now, it's now.
Okay. So I have a question about this. So this whole idea of milking it, can I just milk like any area of my life, any topic that feels joyful, that feels positive? Just milk it, even if it has no what I'm trying to manifest.
Sure. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. In fact, I would highly recommend that.
Okay.
Vibration is vibration.
Because, what's that, Walt?
Vibration is vibration. It doesn't matter what you're vibrating to. If you're vibrating at level X and what you're hoping for is somewhere around level X, it doesn't matter if they're the same thing. It makes no difference. Vibration is vibration.
Awesome. Okay.
It can be a different topic. It just has to be where you're feeling good.
Yeah.
Okay.
And not doubting it. So if going to that thought makes you doubt it, which is what you were describing, don't go there.
Okay.
You don't want to bring that vibration of doubt in.
Right.
So, another thought I had about this would be if you wanted to, really, how they have the wheel of, I guess some sort of wheel where you basically look at all the different aspects of your life and you can look at your love life and your social, your work life and your physical health and all those things.
Right.
You can, another exercise that's really cool to do is going into each of those areas and pulling up for yourself, what of those areas feel really good and then doing that same exercise with each of those different areas where you can really get into that feel good, present tense fantasy land. So you're bringing it into your present and then doing all the trickle downs from that because it's just additional ways that you can raise your vibration. When you've kind of gone over one subject so much you're kind of tired of it, you can move to another one and milk that one.
Okay, that's a good suggestion. I'm going to try that.
Yeah.
And as always, follow the KISS rule. Keep it simple, Smarty. Stay as simple as you can. Don't make it too complex because when you get complex, that's when you end up going down the rabbit holes. So keep it simple.
Okay.
Right.
Okay,
right.
Can you give all of that?
Well, you gave a good one. You described a beautiful scenario in which you were so enthusiastically warm and feeling strong feelings when you were helping with somebody, when you were working with them therapeutically. That's a very simple scene. It doesn't need to have a lot of
Okay.
detail to it. The detail is limited to you're with somebody who's the person you're with. You create this person in your mind about who you're with. You're interacting with them. They're reacting. There's your scene. That's the whole vignette right there.
So if you were going to do that right now, and you were going to take that
Poor Patty's having trouble with her technology.
office and describe.
Oh,
Oh no, I think we just lost her
Oh,
entirely.
you lost me again. Am I back?
You're back. Well, your voice is back. Now your picture's back too.
Oh. If I pick another one of these.
Ain't technology fun?
I wonder if the connection is better downstairs in your house. Yeah,
Hard to
she's
tell.
gone.
Yeah, she'll be back in a moment, I'm sure. I'm looking at my own settings just to make sure I'm not having a problem because everything's funneling through my computer, so everything has to be working properly. But it's all looking pretty good right now.
Okay.
But anyway, she was going. I know where she was going. She was trying to get you to
Am I back?
create that scene. Ah, there you are.
Am I back?
You're back.
Yay! Okay, I tried a different of my little internet. Hopefully that'll work.
Okay.
So what I was thinking, was I'll try and get it out before I disappear again, before I freeze again. So I was thinking about, taking that scene and describing it in detail and feeling terms like you're sitting there right this second and you're going to talk all about the clients that you're seeing and how it feels. And then once you've completely milked that whole feeling in whatever way feels best, go into extrapolating what other areas of your life you could see that
Right.
positively affecting.
Yeah.
Can you do that right
Okay,
now? Just try it as an experiment. And then you'll have it on your audio when you re-listen to this.
There you go.
Okay, that's good. Okay. So let's see. I see myself. Well, let me take a minute to get myself there.
And by the way, try to express it as if you're actually in the scene rather than the observer. Make yourself part of the scene.
Okay. Okay.
I'm so excited now that, I'm so relieved now that, or whatever the feeling is.
So I see myself. I'm in the room with my client.
So rather than doing it from I'm seeing myself in the room,
Okay.
say, I love sitting in this chair right now. It feels really good
Okay.
on my legs and my client is coming in 5 minutes and I'm so excited because these are the things that I've been working on and blah, blah, blah. So rather
Okay.
than saying I'm seeing myself, say it like you're actually sitting right here with me and you're describing what you're feeling.
Okay.
Right.
So I'm feeling, excitement, like this inner percolation as I'm sitting across from my client. And,
What is he
I feel-
wearing? Describe what he's wearing to me.
Good question.
So my client, she's a female.
Well, let's call her Susan. What's Susan wearing?
Susan, let's see, she's got brown hair. She's like wearing, like a cardigan or something, a black cardigan, jeans, ballet flats. She's probably like in her early 30s, maybe mid 30s. And, I'm attentively listening to her and, I feel
What's
very
the issue she's been discussing today? What's the issue she's come to you for help for?
Anxiety.
So let me hear what she just said to you.
What she
The
just
words
said.
that she used. What are the words she just used when she sat down with you? She said, Cynthia, I just came in because...
So what do? I'm feeling anxious at work. And then you want me to respond or?
Sure.
Play out
I'm
the
just
scene.
trying to get you into the present tense like you're really there, not as if you're describing a scene you're looking at. I want you
Yeah.
to you're sitting there, you're telling me literally what is like, you're telling me of like if I were gonna, you were gonna be describing a scene to me in a movie, but you're
Yeah.
there.
Okay.
Say, I'm sitting here
Well,
and this is
somehow
what I'm
when
feeling. And
I
this is
did
what
that way, it kind of took me into my brain.
Okay.
Like when I started
Okay.
and like what my client's going to say and everything.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you can pull back from there. I guess what I was trying to help with, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to be interrupting you so rudely, but
No.
what I was feeling was, that it was still a distant person.
Okay.
It was like you were outside your body observing somebody else. And I want to feel you in your body in that circumstance and describe what you're feeling right now. Like you're there. And say, this is what I'm feeling, and this is what I'm doing, and this is what feels so good about it, and this is what I love about myself and what I can provide for her. And gosh, as I'm talking to her about this, it feels this way and it feels that way. And I love the fact that I can do this with people, and I'm so good at it. And I love that she's getting these great that she's responding to me in a way that I can tell I'm really helping her. I can see the look of relief on her face, and it makes me just feel so fulfilled that I'm able to help her in this way, and then extrapolate from there. So I'm just kind of giving you a little guidance on how I feel that it would be most helpful to really get into the feelings of that. So
you just actually painted a really good scene right there. That was a great scene right there. That was it. That was good. That was really good. I mean, Cynthia.
But you can do that maybe in your own words.
Just to give you an idea of how Neville does it in one of his stories. He tells the story about a person who wanted to run a dance studio, actually an Arthur Murray dance studio, and attracted and manifested into his life a franchise to control and own a dance studio. I think it was in Nevada. And the scene that he played in his mind over and over and over again was being congratulated by the regional director for having gotten the franchise and shaking his hand. That was the entire scene. He was being congratulated, and he's so thrilled because he just got the franchise. And that's what he played over and over and over again. It literally can be that simple.
Okay. So if I want to make a scene like that, that's that simple. So maybe for me, it would be something like, if I'm feeling good and successful about having like a thriving private practice, maybe it's me visualizing that I have like a wait list of clients or something like that.
If that's what feels best to you. Bring up whatever it was that brought tears to your eyes, because that to me got to the heart.
Exactly.
Of what really feels so good to you. I want you to get to that place that you got to before, where you really get to the heart of how good it feels. Not in terms of success, in terms of feeling.
Okay.
Because that's the success, is the feeling. So it could even be going back and describing like you did before, but in a little bit more present tense, about that client and what that did for you and what you were bringing as a person.
And how you were feeling about it.
Okay. So right now I'm trying to get into my body. So I feel alive, dynamic, just very present to my client that's sitting across from me. And I'm very curious about what she's sharing with me and all of these, like, this creative flow of ideas just, starts percolating. And I'm like, oh, I could go this way, I could go that way. We could explore in these different ways and experiment in such and such ways. So I start noticing this like excitement. And, right now as I'm talking about it, I feel, just appreciation that I can do this kind of work. Cause to me, this kind of work is just so joyful. It's magical. It's sacred, healing work. And so as I'm sitting across from my client, just feeling gratitude and feeling, I'm feeling gratitude and right now I'm feeling a little bit disconnected actually.
Yeah. So is it something where you feel, competent? I'm just trying to think of the feeling competent. I'm trying to think of the feeling terms that we can pull up that resonate with you.
Yeah. I think more the words that resonate with me would be more like in creative flow, like feeling connected to the divine, where I'm more like a channel, like receiving, and like being more of like an instrument that the divine's like working through me. I think those things kind of resonate with me more.
And when you do that with your clients, what does that make you feel like?
Just alive, dynamic. It feels like, you know, I can see myself trying different things, like little experiments with my client, inviting them to, I don't know, maybe do some meditation or guided imagery, or we're moving around the room and I see the client and they're, curious too, like, oh, okay, this is different than the ways I've worked before. And, noticing shifts through.
I was going to say, what, as you're doing that and moving around the room with your client, what does that feel like? Is it fun? Is it exciting? What are the feelings that are coming up as you're picturing yourself moving around the room?
I know I keep using these words, but to me, it just feels alive and dynamic.
Yeah.
That thing, like energy is shifting. And I notice, you know, as I'm working with the client that that her energy is shifting. That she looks less anxious, that, she's kind of in this state of curiosity about what we're doing. And for me, it just feels really playful. It doesn't even feel like work when I'm honest.
It's like a co-creative experience.
It very much is. That's a great way to describe co-creative experience. And it just, you know, it feels playful. It's magical. It's alive. And honestly, like, sometimes I can't believe that I get paid to do that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That was really good.
It.
Very good at the end. That was a great finish.
Okay.
Because you just turned your entire financial thing from the lack end into the full end of the stick with that one phrase. That was great.
Okay.
Yep. Really good. So it's exactly that type of exercise that I would encourage you to play with. And, either auditorily or, you know, speaking it or writing it or with collage, even with, you know, pictures. If there's a picture you can put up on your wall that's going to exemplify that, anything that's going to remind you of that feeling and get you back into that flow of those feelings. The more you can do that, the more I believe you're going to be lined up with what's in your vortex, and it's going to start coming in.
Okay.
You don't even need to worry about it. The universe is going to do it. You literally do not have to do it.
Oh.
All you got to do is line up.
Okay.
Which is exactly what you were just doing. You were lining up beautifully for that, was it 3 or 4 minutes or whatever it was? You were just in alignment. Perfect.
Okay.
It was great.
Okay. I feel lighter right now, so.
Good. Excellent. So, you know, my recommendation was just keep doing more of that. And you can do it around that issue or other issues. It doesn't matter. Anything that feels good, do it with that.
Okay. So anything that feels good.
Yep.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, and if, what's that, Walt?
I was just going to say, make sure that you're in that scene. You don't allow yourself to be that observer, because we all do that so easily. We fall into that trap of, I'm just going to observe it. I'm going to describe what's happening over there. No. It's got to be right here, real present. It's got to be very, very imminently close.
Okay. Yeah, I got to practice that, because I think when I visualize my ideal scene, I think I'm always observing. So that's what's throwing me off.
Yep.
I have to visualize actually, I am in the scene. That's very different.
We have a lifetime of being observers, and it does not serve us.
Yeah. And just focusing on whatever feeling feels the best. And when you feel that you're getting that little bit of tearfulness, you know, and where that you're feeling like, oh my gosh, that's totally resonating with my soul. That's when you're fully there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Good job. That was great.
Bravo. That was really good.
Yay.
I finally got it after multiple tries.
You did it. That's fabulous.
And You did it. You totally got it. And I think that sometimes when when you're like really smart and you've got a really strong brain, sometimes it's hard to get out of that brain and into your heart, into the real feelings. So yeah.
But you did it.
If you feel like down the line playing with more, you just go into extrapolating all the other feelings that's bringing from other parts of your life.
Okay. Yeah, I've got a lot of ideas to work with, so I'm excited. Thank you, Walt.
Great.
You're welcome, Cynthia.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for coming on to the program. We really appreciate that.
Yeah. So Walt, I don't know if you wanted to talk about our Facebook stuff or our.
Well, yeah, we got a few promos we got to do. We got a few minutes left, so we're in good shape. But I do want to remind people, first of all, if you're listening live, as we're live streaming this to the Facebook group, Law of Attraction Changed My Life, we are getting some eyeballs there. People have been watching, and we've been getting some comments too. In fact, at one point, Jamie encouraged by saying, "It's a scene that implies your wish has already been fulfilled." She was rooting for you, Cynthia.
Yep.
But if you're listening to the podcast live as we're live streaming it, thanks first of all for doing it, and second of all, make sure you follow the events. We're going to be posting the events as we know what exactly we're doing. We're going to post them in there so you'll know when stuff's coming up with particular topics. But we also want to encourage you to become subscribers, and any other listener who may be listening to this as a podcast, as a pre-recorded thing. Please become a subscriber. It's really easy to do. We've set it up. Patty, it's now so simple. If they go to the homepage at loatoday.net, there are 3 options. There is an option for iPhone and iPad users. There's an option for Android users. And there's an option for going to the homepage of the main site. It's about as simple as we can possibly make it. So you just click the one that's appropriate for you. It walks you through the process, and bang, you're a subscriber. And when you're a subscriber, of course, you get all 11 episodes, plus more than 11 episodes that we're doing every single week coming right to your smartphone. So you can even binge listen to them. I love that. We have binge listeners. I talk about that a lot. But you can be a binge listener. And also, we want to ask our subscribers and our listeners on the Law of Attraction Changed My Life group, please post in as many social media circles as you possibly can the fact that you're listening, because that is helping to get the word out. My goal, our goal really, is to get this whole podcast into the hands of tens of thousands of people. And Cynthia, you were working very hard on creating your vignette. My little vignette is, I just imagine that Patty and I and my other co-hosts, we're sitting here, we're doing these podcasts, and 10,000 people are listening to every single podcast, drinking it in, and they're sending us comments, they're sending us emails, and we're realizing, oh my God, we're impacting all these people's lives in such a positive way. And then they're taking it out into the world, and then they're taking their positive feeling that's coming out of it and the lessons that they're learning, and they're applying it in their lives. And it's creating this rippling, multiplying effect that's just running rampant around the earth. There's my vignette. That's the one that I get excited about. So, yeah, that's what we're really hoping for.
Very cool. Love that vision. The other thing I wanted to mention, too, is the fact that we've been on my day that I do on Mondays at 4 your time, 1 Pacific Standard Time, is including in people who want to do a coaching session, like we just did, a Law of Attraction coaching session. So I've been kind of lining people up who were interested in that. So if anybody would be interested in that or wanted to contact me, they can email me at patty@pattyframocoaching.com. And I'd be happy to line you up to get a little more Law of Attraction coaching, which is really a lot of fun.
For those who are listening in the Law of Attraction Changed My Life group, I will post an ongoing event for Mondays at this time so that you'll always know the next televised life coaching situation is coming up, so you can tune in and watch. And feel free to contact Patty through the Facebook as well. I mean, whatever way she gets it, she gets it. But she'll work you in one way or another.
Exactly. So I don't know. I think we're being pretty good co-coaches here, Walt. It's really been a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, it helps when you have somebody like Cynthia because she's so receptive.
Absolutely.
Makes it very easy and very, very pleasurable. So, Cynthia, thank you so much for taking the time. We really appreciate that you put yourself out there, because it's not easy to do when you know other people are listening like that. But you did that, and thank you. And it sounds like you got something good out of it. I hope you did.
I did. I feel like I'm taking away with me some good tools, and I feel really excited. Your excitement, both of your excitement, is contagious, and and both of you helped me to feel comfortable. So thank you both.
See, that's what happens when you have a great co-host, because all I have to do is put somebody up who's a professional life coach. I just kind of go along in her wake, and I look good doing that. See, I figured this gig out.
I don't know. You got a lot to contribute, Walt. I don't know.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, see, I've also it's been pointed out to me numerous times that I think I have like 5 life coaches working as co-hosts, plus my other co-hosts. I am the best coached person in America because I do all these podcasts every single week. So that also helps quite a bit.
Exactly.
But this has been great. And Cynthia, once again, thank you for joining us. And thank you to our listeners, both the live listeners in the Facebook group and our podcast listeners for tuning in. And Patty, I look forward to doing this with you next week.
Sounds great. Thanks.
All right. And we'll see you all next time as well here on LOA Today. Goodbye, everybody.